छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Alrighty, are we ready? Are you ready? I think we're live. Let's see if this is all working. Let's check all the technology. Can you hear me out there? I had a weird little glitchy thing a few minutes ago, but I think we've got it all figured out. So we do astrology readings here. Live readings, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Get your digits to me. And Rahu, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Christy. Thank you for letting me know. You're number one, Christy. Rahu, you're number two. You know, if you're here watching and you want a reading, you have to put your name. You got to say hello in the chat. We got to get your digits. Ooh, 90 degrees here. A little bit warm for us. How about you guys? Warm, humid, sticky. It's like yikes. The song which was played. Hindi, yes. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a friend, after I just been really drawn to it. And I said, I have no idea what they're saying. Because somebody asked me, I'm like, I don't know. I just know that I love it. So Rahu, what does it mean? Do you know what the words are? Somebody did tell me, but I don't know if, if what they said is accurate or if it's true. All right, Christy, what's going on? Let's get this show on the road since y'all can hear me. And Rahu, I do have your digits, unless I have the wrong digits for you. Let me look. Christy, what's going on? Let's get you up here because you're number one. I want to know how the upcoming Uranus square nodes is going to affect and how long does this last for me? Okay, yeah, let me go take a look at your chart. We will get this on the screen. So Rahu, November 11th, 1998. Yep, 9:55 a.m. Yep. All right, Christy, you got a legitimate astrology question. Let me get your chart up. So the way this works, this is speed readings for everybody. Sometimes people will, send a gift to the channel because they want me to spend a little bit more time on their chart, and that's fine. Much appreciated. Any channel gifts. And so if you see me spending more time on charts, it's because these people have sent a gift to the channel. That's the way it works. You gift the channel, I gift you back. Okay. But if you don't have the means, that's okay. You can get a reading anyway. I understand. That's the whole point of the live stream. To help out. So Christy, let me get your little name. There it is. Yeah, that's you. That's you, the sun at 29. Okay, let's get that on the screen. Let's take a look here. Let's take a sneak peek. Yeah, 1:48 a.m. midnight. Oh, Rahu said it's 2 a.m. in India. Well, thank you. I mean, really. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I'm always blown away by the folks overseas. They do show this channel a lot of love. I will just, yeah, that's just the truth. Yeah, here's your chart, Christy. So you are asking about the nodes and Uranus. Uranus is at 2 degrees in Gemini right now. All right, let's get your chart up so maybe we can get that other. Wait, let me make sure I got the right chart on here. Christy, June 9th, June 9th. Okay, we do. We're good. Okay, so Uranus is sitting here at 2. And so are you talking about this Uranus right here at 2 and the nodes here like this that are also at 2? Is that what you're referring to when you said that? I want to know, how does the upcoming Uranus square the nodes? How is it going to affect and how long does it last? Yeah, okay. So that's a transit that we're already in right now. It's really tight. It's Uranus in Gemini at 2 degrees with the nodes. It's south node in Virgo, north node in. This is actually going to be fast. And it's not like one day fast, but it's going to be fast. And for you, yeah, you already felt it. For yourself personally, which would have affected home and work, home and your long-term goals. Strong domestic energy, though, like the day-to-day routines of living, the day-to-day routines of work, the really important things, hygiene, right? Neat, orderly, cleanliness, just, there's a system to this thing, right? There's a way we do things. It's all the Virgo unfancy stuff. All really important things. But neighbors comes up because you have your own Mercury there too. But see, this, you already went through this. This is at 2 degrees now. You see, when this was like around 5 degrees, that's when you were in the, what's that saying? The what is that? SHTF mode. Are you still in that mode? Do you have running water? I'm not trying to put salt in the wound, but yeah. This would have been that. And so as far as the timeline on this, stress and tension with the long term, with our goals, but with our home life as well, but with institutional energy, politics possibly, performative energy, but really big on creative energy and perceptions, because that's Pisces. And also it asks us to keep the faith, because it's for you, Pisces in the 4th house, right in the area of your home. Have faith. And hang in there. It's also a surrender type of energy, but keep creating. That's for damn sure. But new ideas, new, different disruptions, of course. Your business partnerships, your professional and personal partnerships, talking, communication, authority figure type of energy. Now, as far as a timeline on this, the nodes are moving really fast now. And that's why this is going to get out of the way. The nodes are moving fast. So they're already going to be at 1. And Christy, your stuff is more like at 3. So yeah, I'm thinking for you, maybe you'll start feeling an easing of this by the 3rd week, 4th week of June, because the nodes are moving along and they're at 1 degrees, and then they go to 0 degrees at the very end of June. Okay. So they're starting to clear your angles. And that's why this was such a big deal. The angles are very big points in our chart. So literally your home and your work. But the partnerships too. And so the Uranian energy gets here. And it's still being disruptive, even though the nodes aren't part of the picture for you now. The nodes are moving along. And let me see if you have something that at the lower degrees where this is going to take effect. Anything late in Gemini? No. Anything late in Libra? No. Okay. And the other way around for you, the domestic energy. Okay, so yeah, what I do see is that when the nodes get to 0, so this hopefully is a benefit for you. You wanted to know about when that tight T-square was going to clear up, but look what happens. Same time, end of June, because the nodes move fast. They're near the 0 degree mark. So even now, I'm hoping you're feeling this. You have a nice trine to your 6th house cusp line of comfort. Taurus energy. I have food, I have water, I have shelter, I'm comfortable. You have a nice trine to this. So it can suggest that there can be some help and some assistance, and that maybe you're literally getting, you're back to your creature comforts. Hopefully that's happening. However, I have to throw some caution here for you. Chiron is here. and you have the Chiron's at 0 degrees. And this talks about the wounds connected to my values and my creature comforts. So if you're not, she said she's not a fan of Gemini season. Is your water back on yet? Yeah, so I don't know if you're hearing everything I'm saying, but there's a caution that as these nodes move along by the end of the week, they're going to bring you support, but you will have Chiron there at the same time. Okay. And because your house cusp line is at 0 in Taurus, this would be a big deal. And the wound thing is supposed to remind us of some sort of a wound from the past. Now, it is supposed to also be where I have now healed from that wound and I can then assist others because of the wound that I had. And the wound is over your values, your creature comforts. I mean, what the hell? You need water? Why? Why would you need running water? Why would you need electricity, right? But it's big here. It's at the 0 degree. So this is it's a potent degree in anybody's chart. Very potent. And Taurus is very fixed. So again, this is the end, 3rd, 4th week going into the beginning of July even. And it's not going to end there. It really, there's something interesting that's going to be happening because this node will stay at the 0 and it won't go forward. It's going to actually do a retrograde here. So for you, this makes it even a bigger deal because it intensifies this wound. We really start to internalize something, and you may start taking some actions with the things that you value. And it is absolutely domestic energy, but it can also be connected to the job and your day-to-day routines and also your health as well. It may be a connection to that. Okay. You do have water. Thank God. Okay, great. I think it was the nodes. Once they got that 3 and 2 degrees, the nodes were bringing assistance already to that second house. But like I said, there might be a reminder. There might be a little quirk or something that brings that back up again for you because that Chiron energy of wound is bringing back another wound, but something from the past. So there might be more work to do at that point. Sorry to have to share that, but hopefully having that ahead of time will help you kind of, I don't know, proceed with your backup plans. Maybe that's the thing. Or take some other route that you had already discussed in the past. But good question. Thank you very much. And for everybody listening, that Uranus energy is supposed to create disruptions. That's its job. It wants us to get stuck out of our rut, or to get out of our rut that we're stuck in. Yeah, you are totally welcome. All right, Rahu, let's go. Allastrology, where are you from? So you're asking me where I'm from, but you're not going to tell me what the song means? What are the words of the song, dude? You ask me first, and now you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine. That's the way it goes, right? I'm looking, I don't see that you told me what it means. I just know that what somebody else told me who supposedly speaks the language. And I was like, oh, I was kind of thrilled because I'm like, wow, I don't even know the language, but the song spoke to me. But India has always spoken to me. So let's move on. Rahu, what's your question other than where are you from, Allastrology? What's your question for your chart? Let me use some magic here. Rahu wants to know about his job and a career. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun with a little bit of smarty pants energy here. Let me find Rahu's chart. Oh, yeah. You should be doing good with that sarcasm. With a November 11th, that's that Scorpio sarcasm. Yeah. All right, Rahu, what's your question? Christy said, not a fan. No, I forgot the lines. I will let you know about. Okay, fair enough. I'm from the United States. I want to know about career and when I will get a job. Got it. All right, let's get that on here. See, I must be psychic. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you is, because I know I've already think I've already looked at this. Let me Let me do something different. And I don't know if I've done this for you already or not, but let me do it anyway. Okay, we're going to do that. All right, so I'm taking a look at this South Node in the Aquarius energy superpower where you make money. You have Capricorn energy here. That's good. Partnerships is going to be important for your career and making money and how you receive. That's going to be significant as partnerships. Especially, wow, you even have the whole, whether it's talking, communications, sales, social media, but learning. Maybe, right? Learning and teaching. I'm looking at all your wonderful air that you have in your chart. And you have in this chart a retrograding Saturn, which can delay work, delay career, delay, long-term commitments. But this is in your home. This is with family, but emotions as well. And the burden there connected to home, mom and family might feel super heavy. It's a retrograding Saturn. Sometimes people say with those actually a lot of times they say that always feels like they've lived through this before for them. And I would imagine that feels pretty heavy. So for you, it's a nice trine to your North Node, which is in the 8th house. So this is the digger, the detective, the insurance worker, but this is also some deep esoteric knowledge and kind of being the authority. But communications comes up as a really big deal in your chart. So if you're looking for a job, let's see timeline now. Now that my brain is a little bit more familiar, let's see how the nodes take effect. Let me switch this out. Let's see what we can do for you here. And see if we can get some timing that makes sense for you. Ooh, you might be happy about this. Let me see what the timeline is on here, what they're given to give. So hopefully you're getting close to something. I think you mentioned something with schooling and communications. But according to this chart, you're going to have different, new, disruptive coming in by the end of summer. So we're talking end of July, beginning of August. Yep. Let me see if I can get it in there sooner. Yeah, you might even, let me see some other things really quick here for you. Oh, and even Pluto. Okay, so this explains a lot. So you're making a change. Are you making a career change? It looks like you are with the Pluto energy over here. Okay. So you have, interesting. Oh, you have the Oracle energy when it's in regards to your long-term commitments and career energy. But technology comes up again with that. Wow. Okay. So here's the thing. Uranus is going to be trining that in this chart. Okay, I love this for you. So yeah, this is getting close to, even by July, by the beginning of July, you should start sensing this. You should be getting closer to this. Now let me go see where Mercury's at. It's going to be doing a retrograde through partnerships. So it looks like you might have choices and options in terms of professional partnerships. I love this because it'll be nice trining over your sun. Your sun in this chart's in your 11th house, which does talk about contracts with institutional energy. Okay, so, okay. So it looks like you might come up with something more solid, like that you're making a decision and you're making a choice at the very end of July. And the recommendation is if you do make a decision before then, you're probably going to second guess it, or you're probably going to think, God, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Or you might think, there might be other offers and other options. The point is you don't have all the information yet as far as what you're going to do or who you're going to go with or what, like what offer you're going to take up. Because Mercury of contracts going through the 7th house will do a retrograde there in the Gemini in this chart. So that means communications are going back and forth, but it does trine your sun. So it gives you recognition. Again, this is the very end of July. We're talking July, the last week of July. Mercury's retrograde is over. So that's a good time to make decisions. So you don't want to make any decisions necessarily before then. But this will create a huge, grand, strong air trine with your great benefic Jupiter and your sun and the Mercury in the sky. So this looks wonderful. So if I had, do a quick reading, oh, absolutely, technology. I mean, technology's all over the place, but it could be something, I just can't imagine that it's not technology. If it isn't technology, then your opposite end, that north node, because your technology is your superpower, it's your past, your history, it's what you do really good. The opposite end, your north node, is like what you're kind of you're asked to do something almost kind of solo and to show more of your creativity, actually, and to stand out. But it's like talking, it's sales, it's communications, which means it could be learning, it could be teaching. But networking is freaking huge. Networking is a big deal here for you. But even on this day, July 28th, and the day before, 2 days before that, you have Venus even on your Mars in the 9th house of learning and extended education. Yeah. So technology is always going to be strong for you, for, whether that's teaching others and writing. I don't know a lot about technology, but I had a friend who mentioned something about, the new jobs in regards with AI and all that. And they were saying that preliminary exams of a job of professor. There you go. Okay. Well, that makes sense because teaching and contracts. Yep. And actually teaching, yep, that makes a lot of sense. That group energy, that's that superpower energy that you have. Are you going to be teaching technology? Hopefully you're going to be, somebody has to, they need people like corporations. Even though you're going to be a professor, I'll just share a bit of information. Someone in the field was sharing that the corporations, they can use the AI, but they still need somebody in between to kind of help write, to specialize it. Maybe that's the right word, to make it specific for them. They need people for that. And apparently there isn't any. So it's kind of filling a need. But yeah, that's how your chart is looking, end of July and going into August and signing contracts at the end there. Hope that makes sense for you. All right, so who do we got here? Supernova, with supernova number 3. Supernova, I think you're here to just say supernova because your birth digits are what I would need to do a reading. And I don't see your digits. All right, so we have humans will be extinct in a few years because of abrupt, irreversible climate change. Okay, thank you for sharing. Do you have an astrology question? Do you want me to read your chart for you? If not, that's okay. Yeah, that's what that looks like, Rahu. Yep. Looks like you will have choices at the end of July, and that would be best to not make any decisions until then because of the retrograde. So that's literally like the last week of July. Because you have such strong air connections, and that's the networking, that's the communications, you have such strong energy in contracts and business partnerships. It's really stable energy in your chart. It really is. And it's in the houses of air. It's really stable. But you also have the benefit of Uranus entering your 6th house at that time of work. So it screams new and exciting. And actually in this chart I'm looking at, it's a Uranus and Pluto trine. So it's a change, right? It's a change to something new and exciting. And you have Jupiter in the 3rd house in this chart. that's a teacher. So I just feel like that's what this chart's showing. That quick look. Absolutely. I would say that looks pretty good. Now, that's a quick look at your chart, so what you do with that information, yeah. All right. So I'm rolling through here, and I'm trying to see, is anybody here that didn't get their chart read on Saturday? Any of our spillover energy? Let me go check the email. I don't see. There were a couple people that's why we do these live streams during the week, is to catch up on the spillover for people that. Let me see, who is this? Why is Google is like just annoying me with their. There we go. Let's get that out of there. Here we go. All right. Okay, that's not for today. I need some water. Christy, when did your water come on? When did all that get resolved? If I could just put my water up. Yeah, there's two. I'm just realizing, yeah, I did read that, but I wasn't sure. Okay, because there's two live streams, right? There's the vertical and the horizontal. So when you're leaving comments, let me go grab my phone. Once upon a time I did, Rahu, and yeah, I'm just like, you know what? This is where people can find me. And pretty soon they might not be able to find me here even. That really is kind of like my goal, even though I've been trying to build this thing. Yeah, it'd be even easier if people just sent me emails and then we could just communicate that way, and then we could set up personal meetings. All right, let me check this out and see. Uh-oh, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Okay, so yeah, the palm reading, I actually love that. I do. I love that. When someone showed me and I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me the planets are in my hand? I was all over that. I was like, this is nuts. I love it. But, doing that and yeah, face to face is probably better. So, yeah. So this person right here, get your digits to me. You can birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't know your birth time, be honest and just tell me that, and we'll give you a noon hour chart. You don't have to know the astro stuff, but do you know when you were born? Yeah, you got to know when you were born. Make sense? I need that day, I need the year, and the location. Now, if you have the time, that makes it even more accurate. Okay. Oh, Rahu, I haven't looked at a person's palm in a very long time, so I wouldn't recommend it. The lady that was teaching me, yeah, she died, and yeah, she was phenomenal, and I haven't, yeah. So, but yeah, I would, I'm glad you brought that up though, because I would like to get back into it because I think it's really fascinating. Oh, look at this. Yeah. So for the person whose name I have on the screen, give me your digits. Okay. You see how the other person who just put their digits in there? Yeah. Again, if you don't have the time, just let me know, be honest, and I'll create a noon hour chart for you. And that will at least be a starting point for us. Okay. And then, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way my energy is, like, usually the people across the pond, Yeah, there's usually there's just, I don't know. They get me. I get them. I don't know. Not that it's not for everybody. It is. It's for everybody. I'm just saying, especially when I first started this channel, the most love this channel got was from people who spoke different languages and who were on the other side of the world. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. That's the truth. I would have been like, okay, this is not working at all. But they kept me, and they were like, keep doing this, keep doing it. And I'm like, all right, damn it, all right. Okay, so you sent the digits. Great. Let me go to the email. I'm going to create your chart. Excellent. So now remember, okay. Oh, you even have a birth time. Good job. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so we're going to do this. And when I've never seen a person's chart before, I have to make myself familiar with their chart. Makes sense? I have to get a second to look at it. Second's probably not enough. But I have to have a basic understanding of who you are before we can discuss anything else. Otherwise, well, I can just blur anything out, which sometimes works. Matter of fact, that's what people want most of the time. They're like, oh, you don't need to do all that. All right, well, this is what I do. What is this mush? Okay, good. Oh, the software picked up on it. Thank God. I am so glad they finally did something. Oh, let me close these other things out. That might help. They finally made improvements with their geography aspect on this chart. Okay, so have you seen your chart before? This chart is showing 7 degrees Pisces on the ascendant. And I have 27 degrees Capricorn sun and a Capricorn moon at 14 degrees. Is that you? I know you don't know anything about astrology. I think that's what you said, but have you ever seen your chart? Can you give me a prediction about my job and marriage? Whoa, you want a double whammy, huh? Okay, so you said nope. I'm not sure what that was too. Maybe I'm going to have to at least look at the chart, and then you're going to have to tell me if this is you, if it sounds like you, because I have to make sure. There's no point in doing a chart unless we know it's actually accurate, as far as a prediction or anything like that. It's not right to do that. So this tells me, okay, you have kind of a superpower here in practical partnerships. Partnerships that are on the down-to-earth side. This can be personal and professional. You might notice there might be a streak of perfectionism in terms of what you want in a partner, or how partners come into you in terms of how they present to you, maybe neat, orderly, maybe put together well and smart, but down to earth and practical, people who serve in some way, people who are all about the analytics, people who can analyze, people who can troubleshoot really well. And I would call this like a superpower, especially since it trines the moon in this chart, which again is more earth energy, very organized. Holy shit. Really organized, focused on the long term, the long haul. This might be emotionally heavy. Mom, this can even represent mom or dad, and a mixture of mom playing the role of dad, dad playing the role of mom, and vice versa, like having to do both. And so it's a very burdensome, and it can feel like that emotionally. Thank God you have in this chart a little bit of the Gemini energy in the emotions that helps to lighten things up and gives a love for learning, a strong level of curiosity, possibly related to the past. Even sibling energy, coworkers, neighbors, so I can communicate. Talking and sharing information is important. But you even have some empathic qualities here and some strong creative stuff, according to this chart. Strong creative, like there's a deep resonance even with it. You have it in multiple ways in your chart, like even art in your day-to-day life and creating. But it also is, all right, do you show up on the scene at the job and kind of, do you kind of have like that boss mentality? Or do you just kind of automatically take charge, not necessarily as stating on the boss, but do you feel like you're the authority figure in some way? That would be domestic and at the job. It can be both ways. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me see. What's the birth to? Okay. I'm just checking. I'm like, when was this person born? Let me double check your birth digits. Sometimes the software changes them. January 18th, 2007. Yeah. And it's 9:40 a.m. Okay, great. Okay. So let me know if these things sound like you. This would be important. Oh yeah, you have authority figure energy really strong, actually, if this is you. And especially in terms of maybe getting information ahead of time about the future. And within the grander scheme of things, like systems and societies and civilizations, that sort of energy, a little bit on the futuristic side, but this is unconventional and highly confident as well. This might be like some unconventional life philosophies, unconventional spirituality even, and faith and belief. There might be something very unique because freedom and individuality, and that whole thing with beliefs and connections to higher realms, even spirit, God, creator, however you want to look at that, universe, the freedom of that, and probably a plethora, like lots of that happening and going on. But the independence and maybe the authority figure shows up again here. But yeah, communications coming across like the boss would be 27 degrees of Capricorn within group energy. Communications with friends is important. Friends that feel like family. You have a very disciplined body even, especially when it comes to things that are, again, freedom, different, new. It can be very disciplined, but it can also, at the same token, have that urge to be a little, like there's a little spark, a spark of, really? Did you just do that? Because it's got a 0 degrees Mars. This can be, this can give massive amounts of energy towards long-term goals and what you're building. Even for people who are kind of like up there, it would be like vocation energy. But people who, this chart shows you Saggy on the rising, these people are kind of like the astronauts because it's in the air and it's climbing in the air. It's going higher and higher. It's the goat that can get to that mountaintop that can somehow keep ascending off of that mountaintop. So this can be sage energy. Yeah, the spirituality. These can be preachers, teachers. This can be people of the cloth. This can be politicians and public figures. 27 degrees Pluto. Whoa. So communication in your chart and learning is freaking huge. Yeah, it comes up multiple times here. When it comes to your money and your values and your love and your desires, this can be tricky because self and me, you might find that you're self-centered at times, especially in terms of what you want and what you value. You may consider yourself very independent and you value that without a doubt. If this is your chart, if this chart's right. So yeah, the fierce independence and boss energy and leading the way so far is a common theme that's coming up a lot here. Common theme. And if you don't get your way, When we were younger, sometimes our child comes out and stomps its feet. That can happen with Aries energy, but you also have Taurus here, and Taurus can be patient. It can be reserved, but when it gets angry, watch out. The horns come out, and a mixture with Aries and Taurus in terms of my money, my value, my food, even. Holy crap. It's a mixture of pioneer energy, but it does have the beautiful Taurus energy of harmony. So this in your chart is a blessing, is that Mars wants, the Aries wants to just fight and gets angered very easily over what it values. And this can be with desires and love. Okay. So that would be good to know. And the strong desire and magnetic energy of Taurus combined with this, it can bring in the harmony, which is great, and peace. But if we're unaware of this energy, it can go overboard. Okay. And sometimes these folks have severe sweet tooths. Anytime strong Venus energy is involved. You have this really strong knack to do something different in terms of creating. Maybe even being the authority on that, but leading the way. But movies, poetry, sound, film, like that might all be a thing that's familiar to you. It might just be a thing where you're like, wow, that's something I kind of have a knowing with. New and different might come up. So the thing we just got to see, like, I don't know if this is you, but that whole mom and dad thing up there. The other thing I don't know if I mentioned was with the moon in Capricorn, sometimes it can even feel like depressing, like maybe mom or dad is depressed, right? But even myself, my own emotions, the moon mixed with harsh energy, cold and distant, that can be difficult. And so even the sun can sometimes represent father energy. And if it's in Capricorn, well, that can be difficult because that's somebody who would have high expectations, very, very disciplined, very serious energy. Thankfully, you have Leo in the 6th house of fun. And that talks about children and creativity and joy and laughter and just playing. It's play energy. But you even have freaking Saturn there, which brings on a tone of seriousness to it. But you do have some leadership qualities with that. You do have leadership qualities and to take charge with that. So I don't know if any of this feels or sounds like you. Hopefully this makes sense for you. Let me come back to the chat and see. Literally can't understand a thing you say. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll stop because it doesn't make sense then. Maybe I was speaking too fast or yeah, unfortunately, that's the only language I speak. Well, this and astrology, that's my sacred language. Okay. Oh, no. Here we go. I was depressed 4 years ago. I was on medication. Okay. So just so you know, your chart, right? And yeah. You have empathic qualities because you have some Cancer energy in the 4th house. So many times when we have that energy, we're picking up, especially with sensitive Pisces in the 1st house. This means sensitivities. It's the sponge of the zodiac. So your physical body can pick up from energetic all around you, whether it's from other people, right? Residual energy, totally you can pick up, right? And that can be residual energy left by, say you moved into somewhere that somebody else used to live, right? And there's residual energy left behind. It can also be residual energy from the other side, like spirits and ghosts and whatnot. So many times when we are open like that, or when we have our antennas out and we don't know that that's what's going on, we're picking up on a lot and we feel overwhelmed. And for you, this is Uranus in Pisces, so nerves in the body even, and high sensitivities. Because what about the feet even? That would be a thing with Pisces. Food sensitivities, possibly. Interesting. Okay, so it's trining that. So people who have Taurus on that 3rd house, according to this chart, what I would suggest, using the Taurus voice, because Taurus can have a really beautiful, harmonious voice. And so even if you're not into singing meditation, chants, just something, because it will literally change things for you emotionally. It'll change the energetics of what you've described here. So yeah, and then your Cancer energy makes you, the highly empathic, and it's even at the Scorpio degree, which makes a combination of empathic qualities and psychic abilities as well. Okay. But yeah, it's the Saturn energy in your chart that's what's causing the illness. When you're feeling like, you got to take medication, it's where your Saturn is located in the 6th house of illnesses, but also because it has a lot to do with the energy up here, and it's in the 11th house. And what that means is it can be shocking, it can be disruptive, and it can just kind of maybe hit you and come out of nowhere. It can be cold, which is why when you mix the moon with cold, most people that is charts I look at, they're like, yeah, depression. Like they totally get it. And I'm saying thank God for the Gemini, for the little bit of Gemini, because this can be a very fun energy. It can use the learning, the mind stuff, how I think. You could also learn how to train the mind to control the emotions or to head them off, right? Because the cycles are always going to be there, but it's like it can train you to learn tools that you can use so that you're not dependent on medication. And by the way, all that Pisces in that 1st house, Pisces is all medications for sure. And you just have a lot of energy here in the Pisces stuff. And so Sirius using medications. Here's the other thing Pisces is: nature. Nature can be your medicine as well. Music can be your medicine. Prayer can be your medicine. Meditation, sound, use sound therapy. Like just figure all those things out for yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah. Those are the things that this chart, those are its strengths. And that's just using what's written here. You have quite a bit of Egyptian energy. The Egyptian gods, you've got quite a bit of them here in your 1st house. Interesting. You even have Ra and a nice trine. This is interesting. So there's something about a state of surrender and solitude and serenity. Yeah. So whether it's being in the sun when you're out in nature, and then that is a really nice trine to the belief systems and using the occult to form your beliefs and your spirituality. And that might, that might be your way of taking control of some of the stuff, as opposed to feeling like, many times when people have a lot of strong struggles, especially mental, and even like the energetic struggles that people are feeling, because we're dealing with so many energies now. Like we're open to so many different energies, not just other people, but just the energies, the emanations in general from everywhere, that it's a lot to handle. And so it almost feels like we can go into a victim mode. And that is also Pisces. It has a tendency that if it's not careful, it gets stuck in the woe is me. That's a Pisces tendency. Okay. That's for all Pisces, not just you, for all Pisces. But the Egyptian sun god Ra, in its connection to the cornucopia, abundance of prosperity and material wealth, and possibly even physical abundant energy, may even be a green thumb type of energy that can help things grow. That would probably pertain to deeply bonded energy, shared values, and again, the occult information, studying ancient texts, sacred texts. That would also be all that Sagittarius energy you have, and your Jupiter's there. So there might be some stuff you can do with that where you might feel that you're getting back a little bit of your power, because this object I have highlighted down here talks about resolutions, figuring out workarounds. You follow? And it trines your abundance thing up here. So for me, for you, if you know, if the health thing is a thing and you've got to, oh, archaeology, totally Scorpio energy. That's part of the ancient and the sacred. Absolutely. And the Pluto energy as well. You have Pluto and Saggy. These are people who dig into the past, whether it's physically digging into the past or doing it through ancient texts. But yeah, they want to excavate. They want to reveal the truth. This would be to reveal sacred truths. You follow? It's good. Actually, at 27 degrees, no, it's in the 10th house. That adds a little bit different of a spin to it. That definitely would make it something hard, like the physical, like literally archaeological stuff. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense then. All right. Okay, so this all makes sense for you. Great. All right, good. Oh, okay, good. My mom said you are a warrior since birth. Oh God, the Aries energy. Yeah, well, you have a lot of fire, and that makes you a warrior. Absolutely. And the Scorpio. You have Pluto and frickin' Sag. Warrior on horseback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. We'll save this into the system, okay? And then that way I already have you for the next time should you come back, all right? Okay, so we're going on to the next name. Hey, Donna, how are you? Healing readings. How the heck are you doing? All right, the next one in line. Ooh, Steffi G, how are you? I was adopted by my parents, so I don't know what happened to my real parents. Ah, you'll have to come back sometime and we'll take a look. Oh, there's a story to tell there somewhere. Your 12th house is loaded. I didn't even talk about that because none of your private planets, you don't have your sun or moon there. But you do have Chiron in the 12th house. Oh, okay. There might be a little something there that we can dive into. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so who was Herman? I think Herman, let me go take a look at this chat here. Can you give me prediction about my job and marriage? Let me see. Let me go check this out here. All right, so we're doing, these are speed readings. Speed readings are free readings. For those of you who have the means, you can send a gift to the channel if you want me to spend more time on your chart. And if you don't have the means to do that, that's okay. We'll give you a speed reading, not a problem. Okay, so can you, okay, so where did Herman put the digits? I saw him. Did Herman leave? How come Herman's digits aren't here? Oh, there they are. Got him. I'm like, did Herman leave? Herman, are you still here? I'm calling you Herman. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That is not Herman. Oh, I don't want to mess that name up. How should I pronounce that? Hamanta Mahatma. I don't know. Are you still here? I got your name on the screen. Are you still here? Hello. I have December 19th, 2005, 8:46 a.m. Medinipur, West Bengal, India. Are you in the chat? I'm going to say it one more time. Going once, going twice. If I don't see you come back into the chat, I will assume you have left and I will go on to the next person. I know people are in a rush and I get that. But once I click on your name, I don't have the convenience, or I should say the luxury to wait. Oh, there you are. I see you. Very good. Okay, I got you. Okay, we're going to draw you up. Let's see what we can get here for you on your chart. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. We'll put the 01 at the end there. Okay, so we have December 19th. Wow, the house is very quiet all of a sudden. And 2005. I love getting all the youngsters in here. I do. Bring them on. Come on. I know. It must be nice to be called a youngster, huh? Take advantage of it. Say great. Say yes, thank you. Because it won't last long. Shit goes fast. Shit goes fast. One day you look in your mirror and you're like, what the hell? When did I get old? When did this happen? All right, let's get your chart on the screen. And have you seen your chart before so that you can confirm with me if this is you? I have Capricorn on the rising at 20 degrees, Capricorn rising. I have your moon, Leo at 6 degrees. Another person with Saturn in Leo. Interesting. Moon, that's Taffy. Oh, your moon trines your Mercury. Interesting. Fire. Woo. Okay. Ooh, wow. You got a node part of that picture. Ooh, you got a powerful fire trine here if this is you. Holy crap. Oh, damn. Ooh, you got Venus at 0 in Aquarius. Holy shit. Okay. New, different, standing out. Right. I desire what's different. And that should be that I am unique and that I look different. Wow. Interesting energy. Can be extreme, but rebelliousness for sure is on the menu with you. But a fiery communicator. Absolutely. And your emotions might get part of it at times because your moon's involved. Let me let this cat in. Hold on. She's at my door. Okay, Taffy, I'm coming. Come on. Are you coming? Come on, you keep me on. I gotta get back. Come on, come on, come on. Leave that little butt in there. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, we're back. All righty. Yeah, she gets all freaked out. Her mom went to sleep, so now she's like, where is everyone? Okay, you got Taurus on 2-house cusp lines. So your 4th house. Wait, let me go check and see if you said this was your chart. Then I don't have to do all this. Then I can just, let me see. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Oh, you're right. Thank you for saying that. I see. I see the location is off. Okay. I just jumped right into the chart. How did I do that? Okay, let's get your digits. Let's get your location back on here. Thank you. That's so funny. I knew that. How did that get in here? I think I got it. Med in pure. Got it. Let's see what we got now. Let me make sure I spelled it right. MEDINIPUR, right? MEDINI. The software is... Okay. Let's see if this one looks right. Oh, it's giving me the same. Hey, come here. Okay, December 19th, 2005, 8:46 a.m., Medinipur, India. So have you seen your chart before? Because this is giving me, this looks identical to the last chart. You see that? Let me go to my other system, my backup system, and double check it then. I don't know what else to do unless you can confirm or deny that this is, but it's identical to the other chart. Capricorn ascendant, yeah. Capricorn ascendant at 20 degrees. I mean, it can be similar if these locations are very close to each other, and I don't know enough on the geography side to know if these were close enough. But the coordinates would probably be the same if you're a Capricorn rising and a Leo moon. But I'm going to double check. Okay, we're going to have to do this real quick like here. And double check the chart. Hey, Taffy, come here. Come on. Come on. Because I'm not running back and forth to that door, little girl. Okay, so let's go December 19th. Taffy. Hey. You know this cat is asking to leave the room. She's looking at me like I'm crazy now. I'm gonna pinch her in the butt. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we got 8:46. No, you can't actually do that. Taffy is like so sensitive. It's crazy. Not that you want to be walking around pinching cats' asses, but you know what I mean. She's not a rough and tumble kind of gal like her sister. Her sister's always ready to rumble. Taffy's not so much like that. Medanipuro. Oh gosh, is there a different spelling? Maybe that's the problem. This other system's not even recognizing it. Son of a B. Medinipur. Is that right? Medinipur. I'm going to try to find this chat real quick. I see your question, Steffi. I'll get to you. Hold on. Wow, this system is not recognizing. Oh, this is a problem. This is my backup system, and they're usually better than. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so let me try this. How about you? Yeah, let's put West Bengal in there and see if that. It just depends on who did the programming, and if they put West Bengal instead of that, then yeah, that would explain it. And what the hell? They don't have that in here either. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, so I hate to read a chart that might not be yours. Yeah. Let me try it in here. Okay, Taffy, I'm coming, but I'm not coming back. I'm just letting you know. I'm opening that door one more time. I'm not coming back. Oh, Lord. Yeah, they don't recognize it. What's this? Why? Why are they causing me so many problems? Okay, Taffy, I'm on the way. Wow. Well, this is a problem. This location, I have two different softwares, two different systems, and neither of them are recognizing either Medinipur or West Bengal. Neither one are. Which is crazy, because I feel like I've heard of both of them. I know they exist, right? But is there another word, another name that might have been used? Because I know sometimes people will give me multiple names. Ah, thank you. And I'm always like, never been, don't know the place. I have no idea if that's wrong or right. Thank you. Let me try that. So weird that I heard of that one, but not the one you gave, not this last one. Yep, it's got this one. This is it. It recognizes this one. Okay, now we have you. This does not give you a Capricorn rising, though. This gives you an Aquarius on the ascendant. Check that out. Let me let the cat out. I'll be right back. Okay, Tap, I'm opening the door and I'm not coming back now. I'm not going back and forth. There you go. Okay. Little Scooby-Doo. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Oh my stars. Okay, so you still have Uranus in your first house in this chart. The Uranus in Pisces. So it moved the ascendant. Your moon and your Saturn are still in your seventh. Okay. You have Jupiter at 11 in Scorpio. Okay. Oh, Hygeia is on the 11th house cusp line of friends. Okay, so really unconventional beliefs in terms possibly of spirituality, but tied to the truth, tied to like, like ancient kind of stuff. But even the seeking and the searching energy, but something different and unconventional, possibly even off the planet type of stuff. Yeah, you even have a lot of the Egyptian stuff here. Okay, so I just have to kind of get familiar with this a little bit more. So Pallas Athena, this is all higher education, by the way, all this Saggy you see in your 10th and your 11th. Yeah, continuing education, higher education. You can also be a teacher. You can be somebody who's publishing works. This can be politicians, political figures, preachers. Yeah, you have Scorpio at the midheaven. Similar to the last chart. Interesting. These people definitely are the super detectives of the Zodiac, which is what somebody would be for a job and a career. This is like investigators. These are excavators, people who dig. They're digging for the truth. Yeah. This is a job that has to be deeply meaningful. This can also be a job that has to do with the healing industry. Scorpio is the healer of the Zodiac. Okay, so you've got water there and Jupiter already passed. Let me see. Jupiter's you're going to be your great benefic. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's in the 9th house of travel. Maybe working overseas or having to travel far away. But this is the placement of having a good time and wanting to travel as well. But this is also higher education and continuing education and possibly teaching. Okay. Partnerships in learning. Learning is fun. So is writing. Okay. but very theatrical and dramatic energy for the moon and the work stuff. Leo energy, boss energy. Again, these people work in most people who have a lot of Leo, unless they're like superstars, right? They can be really creative, and a lot of them cut hair. That's just the reality of it. A lot of them are like, oh no, I just cut hair for a living, right? But these people can make costumes, like hair, makeup. These people, anything that would look like somebody's going to have to do a performance. Very performative energy, but very colorful, and energy that should stand out. Like somebody steps out into the room and everyone's like, ooh, where'd that person just come from? Whoa, there's something that, it's like the sunlight. When sunlight's out and the flower just opens up and stares up at the sun. But super unique and unconventional by appearance is still going to apply for you according to this chart. As far as your income, hospitals, healing institutions, this can be government institutions or any institution of society. Scorpio, by the way, and this is what I'm thinking, this might be psychology too, because you've got Scorpio and Pisces, the water houses, lining up for career and income and money. So working in healing institutions of some sort, that can be a lot of different things. But sound, music, theater. Okay. Mercury does represent short distance travels, but you even have that in Sagittarius. So this there's a lot of strong things here for possible business partnerships and traveling for work, possibly even, because you got the Saturn there. But it does scream delays and slowdowns with the Saturn retrograde. And that's in love relationships. That's in long-term committed relationships and career energy. Delays and slowdowns. Okay, you have a retrograding Saturn. So this also can stifle some of your creativity, can stifle your romantic department. It can slow down children. And that's what I mean by stifle. But you have in your chart a very strong, beautiful kite. And at the top of your kite is your superpower of relationships, business, professional, contracts, significant one-on-one work, right? And being the boss, even. You have that there as the tip of the kite, which is important. That means all your fiery energy pours out through that tip. What's crazy is it pours out through like your superpower. But this is part of the soul's knowledge of, I've already done this. I already got that. I already got the certificate. I graduated already with this, with the partnership stuff. And so I think healing is definitely release and attachments, addictions, fanaticism. There might be, because this is at the tip of your kite, this is something that you're working on releasing. You're working on releasing, which this would be a bit of a challenge. This independent energy is what you're supposed to be doing, leading the way, and the first one out of the gate type of thing. These are the what's that? They blaze their own trail, right? They blaze their own trail. So as far as relationships and the work and that connection of delays, yeah, that's a big thing. And slow down. So let me change this chart out real quick. I realize it's kind of mixed up, and get it over here and see if we can see Jupiter is going to enter into your 7th house of relationships, and that is your great benefic. So with that said, if Jupiter can't help you, nobody can. I'm just saying. Jupiter will enter at the end of June. So you should have opportunities that arise that can have to do with work and personal. It can be both, because that's how your chart is set up. Yeah, that's how your chart is set up. However, just so we're keeping it real, okay? Your node is right here, the income, the money, independent work, the trailblazer, leading, boss energy even, finances and money. But Saturn's going to do a retrograde. So even though Jupiter's going to bring you some opportunities, you're going to have to really work at it. You're going to have to really work at it because you're also going to be dealing with Saturn down here, who's in your second house of money and income. And remember, Saturn can bring you work and in responsibilities and duties and committed relationships, but can also slow that kind of stuff down. So you got Jupiter helping you out here, but you also have Saturn doing its thing here. So maybe for you, the big connection with Saturn and the income and your North Node, and when the retrograde begins, maybe that's going to be it for you. And that's going to be, you'll have opportunities coming, like I said, end of July. So keep your ears and eyes open and be talking and networking. Be willing to not be so incredibly, don't be too impulsive, and don't be, I'm hearing overconfident. Don't be too overconfident. Be a little bit more in a receptive mode, because that's what Jupiter wants to do. It wants to bring and give. It's generous. So be more of in a receptive mode, which might require you to, I don't know, be more flexible. That's a possibility. But when the Saturn retrograde begins, that's at the very end of summer, right? So once you get closer to September, it'll touch your North Node, which is a nice trine to your natal Saturn. So that might bring you something that's a little bit more stable and serious in terms of work, but even possibly a relationship. And because I can't tell by the name, I can't tell if you're for relationships looking for a male, or, you know what I mean? And in astrology, these planets, Jupiter represents all sorts of opportunities, right? For relationships and professional relationships, personal and professional. But if you are a female looking for a male, that would be Jupiter. You follow? That would be Jupiter. Jupiter is the one that females, yeah. That's the marrying kind. But if you're a male, right? You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of hard for me to read for that without knowing that. But opportunities all the same. Use them for the best that you can while you have this wonderful Jupiter going through your 7th house. All right, we're moving on. And so, Steffi G, I think you were next. I don't know if you're still here. But you are, I think you're still here, but you had a question. Can we get your chart up here with all the asteroids on it? Yes, we can. All these extra asteroids came from, especially the Egyptian ones. I've just had a lot of private readings, and man, the Egyptian energy is really coming forward for a lot of folks. So let me get this up here for you, Steffi, and your chart will have all the same things on it. And if you want, I could send you your chart as well. I need water. Hold on a second. Okay, it's been a minute since I've seen your chart, Steffi. Your Astro Gold won't. What software? This is Astro Gold. I mean, you see it at the top, Astro Gold. Version 6.7. Maybe that's why. If you don't have a version that was updated. You follow? They've made a lot of updates in the last 6 months. A lot of updates. They've updated, they've just made a lot of updates. So you can get an Indian chart to pull up on it now. You can get, there's just a lot of choices now. A lot of different choices. You can get the Draconic chart to pull up on it now. Yeah, if you're not sure how to get it, it should automatically do an automatic update. The software should do an automatic update. Now, the automatic update can only happen if your computer is set to do automatic updates, or once you're in Astro Gold, usually once you're using it, it'll pop up and it'll say that they need to do an update. Or you can contact them. Like if you're having issues. And honestly, I have no idea if it matters. As far as like a paid version, or because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about all that. But they're usually very good in responding. Anytime I've ever had a question, they usually respond. But even the Astro Gold itself that you can see on the screen, they have a help button over here. Can you see that help button? Yeah, you press up that help button and a whole separate user guide pops up. The difference too might be I'm using an Apple product, a Mac. So I have the Mac version, but I don't know if you do, and I don't know if that matters. You see, I know usually it matters, whether someone's using a different product other than they have different versions is what I'm getting at. But you said Astro Gold, so I'm assuming that means you're using the same thing. I don't have any of that. You don't have Apple? Well, then you don't have Astro Gold. Astro Gold is specifically for Apple. If you're not using an Apple, they call it, I got an email from them because they'll send the emails out. I probably deleted it because it didn't apply to me. I was like, I don't use that. Okay, wait a minute here. What do they call this crap? Oh, no, this one's just about Mac. This one's just about the Apple stuff. And I probably deleted all the other stuff. Well, you would know what versions you use, but yeah, it comes down to that then. So, do you want to take a peek at this chart now that you can see it with like for you? This is interesting. Karma. There's a point of karma here at 12 degrees in Capricorn. Maybe you already knew that. Let me see what else is jumping out. The little guy next to it. I believe this is Horus. Let me see, because I'm not real familiar with all the Egyptian stuff yet. Yeah, this is Horus. Horus at 6 degrees. That would be health, right? 6 degrees. Virgo energy and service, of course. Service in terms of what you're building for yourself, your physical body. Capricorn on the rising can be, well, more than enough astrology. You know what that means for you. But the Horus energy talks about family, heritage, ancestors, and culture, prosperity through connection with the earth. It's how we see ourselves in relationships. So for you, this would be how you see yourself in relationship to father figure, Capricorn energy, and long-term goals, and like serious stuff, and committed long-term relationships, commitments of any and all kind, but in regards to your own body too, though, right? And how that all works. And then the connection you have to, that is a nice trine right there, 6 degrees Horus, to Ra. And Ra figures out resolutions. And this is in your 4th house of home and family. It's in Taurus at 5 degrees. 5 degrees, children, fun, joy, creativity. But 4th house, home, family, mom, emotional stability, peace, and harmony, Taurus energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. So what would be soothing, right? The creature comforts. Ra does not want to see any fighting or any kind of that crap. It's the ability to take control of a situation and overcome obstacles. You get insights that enable you to get past blocks or workarounds to reach a goal in terms of values. Home, family, money, values, creature comforts. So you have these two Egyptian god over here, Ra, and then Horus. connecting strongly. And then you have Haumea up there, or I'm sorry, Hygeia at 10. So that's a nice earth trine. In Gemini, this is important at 1 degrees in Gemini. You probably didn't think you had anything there. This is Hathor. Yeah, Hathor is creative energy. The wife of Horus. This is a quincunx. So this Hathor is a quincunx to the Horus. So this husband and wife team in your chart are in a quincunx. And it's in Gemini. So you know what that means, right? Talking and communication and writing, siblings and coworker type of energy. But it's nurturing energy. Hathor is the female in that partnership. She's the wife, nurturing, mothering, finding creative ways to bring joy to others. I think I said that backwards, where you can get bursts of creativity or invention and acting with the courage of your convictions. At 1 degrees, communicating and learning a new skill possibly, but liking variety, spice of life for you. With that in Gemini, variety is going to be important in learning probably. Yeah. But neighbors, coworkers, siblings, your local community, that's a nice trine to your Cirrus. They're very strong. Cirrus is significant one-on-one relationships. This might make sense for you, huh? Now, that's in your 9th house, that Cirrus up there, right? Significant one-on-one relationships. And this Hathor, connecting. Now, here's Nefertiti. You have her, right? This is the Queen of Egypt, the wife of Pharaoh. She ruled as Pharaoh after his death. This is drawing strength or power from relationships with others. Wow. This is in the placement of health, day-to-day routines, and work. It's in Gemini at 16 degrees, and it's at the moon degree. Interesting, right? Relationships with others. There is an inner grace that you can draw on that enhances the outer beauty, your outer beauty. And it is also where others think that you may have a mysterious something extra that they find iconic. So that is a nice trine to your Pluto. That's 16 and 13. And you have the vertex and your 2nd house cusp line at 12. So this is a very strong trine, actually. But of course, we can't forget Pandora's box there at 14 to throw her monkey wrench into shit. I mean, we just got to keep it real, right? But you also have this really beautiful kite here, 1722. And this is saying, okay, wow. I wonder if you have anything higher up than Pluto. Well, Pluto looks like it's at the tip of this kite for you. I mean, it is at the tip of this kite. The thing is, that requires change and transformation. It's in significant one-on-one relationships, but there's a connection to religious or spiritual beliefs from the philosophy on life, equality, fairness, and justice. Yeah, harmony is big. But lots of relationships for a chart like this are going to feel like a need. And it doesn't have to be significant one-on-one as in marriage, right? Just anybody that we pull into our inner circle, significant one-on-one relationships. It can be professional as well. But because this kite energy and Pluto is there, it talks about intense. It talks about the past and the soul history, the soul memory. It talks about deeply meaningful stuff. So meaning we might be talking and communicating and feel that deep resonating vibe that we carry from other times. But change. Pluto wants to see growth. It expects people in those relationships to grow. And when it doesn't, see that. Pluto doesn't have any patience for that shit. That's just the way Pluto rolls. It wants to see growth. Well, you have a moon in Gemini as far as all your Gemini energy. I mean, you have Rigel right there at 16. So it's even trining that Pluto along with Nefertiti. You see, you have Nefertiti conjunct Rigel, which is a prolific communicator. Like when someone speaks, people listen type of thing. That's Rigel energy in general. Usually connected to sales and communications, but you have just this huge trine energy, and the Pluto is at the tip of it, is at the point. So that's where all of this is to flow through. And having Gemini all through that 6th house, yeah. Talking and communications is going to be a thing. And the vertex, I love the way this is a nice trine for you. So, yeah, your Pluto trines that 2nd house cusp line, trines your 6th house cusp line. Really strong air trine. It's air, information, knowledge. That's wonderful. There was another one down here that was important. This is also another Egyptian god. This is Aten. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Aten, Egyptian sun god, carried absolute power in the universe. It represents the life-giving force of light to the world. This is big because it's at 21 degrees and you have it in Aquarius. Wow, really powerful. Really powerful because it's different, it's new, it's unconventional, it's futuristic. It's like, so your values, right? Do you feel like sometimes the things that you value really may not make sense for the average person? Like you might be a trendsetter even in a way, because your values are things that just other folks might not have a strong value for. Because different and unique. But of course, yeah, your own values, your own bank account, that can all be it as well. So this energy speaks of how you become aware of the universal life force. It's your personal relationship to the creator as you see him or her or they or whatever. And it's the circumstances that stir you to commune with the creator at a Jupiter degree. I'd say that's pretty big. That trines your North Node, amiga. Relationships and spirituality, truths. Yeah, hidden truths even, which is fascinating because you've got it in Libra. That wants, peace and harmony and equality, big time. Might be kind of tricky with that. That might be one of those trines that are tricky. That can be a tricky trine because even your moon's a little involved in that one. Only because this can be a Jupiter degree and it can go overboard. It can just be tricky because this would be friend energy for sure. And yeah, in the house of friends, well, you've got friends, right? There's deep bonds there. It's just, there's attachment energy that's strong. Yeah, detachment is Aquarius energy. And even your Uranus is in Scorpio, but it's in your 10th house. And Uranus tends to, distance, detachment. Which might be a blessing, having Uranus and Scorpio. Then it can help detach possibly from bonded and shared energy. But yeah, the Aquarian energy, even your vertex is at 13, which is very independent, and Uranus itself is very independent. So it's like, oh, geez, wow. And you even have Pallas Athena right across the way too. So there's a lot of, this speaks to a lot of soul knowledge. This would even be somebody who kind of would have authority on the esoteric stuff, actually, with the Leo energy there. Could be playful and have fun. It could take that route, but it can, if it's serious, and it can, You've got Vertex and Pallas Athena. And you've also got the Centaur, who is the seer. And here's this last one I'm going to go over. Oh, actually, no, there was 2 more, but they're both at 2 degrees, so I think this is important. This is Sekhmet at 2 degrees in Taurus for you. This is the daughter of Ra. She's a warrior goddess as well as goddess of medicine. It's about transformation, being transformed in dealing with death of values. No shit, not even making this up because it's in Taurus. It's a cleansing through suffering leading to healing and a rebirth. You have it at 2 degrees in Taurus. And you have that in the 4th house. So the emotions are connected to that. And your Venus, yep, right there at 22 degrees. Okay, she feels very, very, almost a responsibility and a duty to lead the way. Okay, interesting. All right, the pioneer energy. Yeah, thank you. So this one here, this one is the oracle. You have it at 2 degrees in Aries. This is in your 3rd house of communication. Yeah, this is the house of writing, talking, speaking, taking the lead. You have a lot here. Mercury, Venus, and the South Node. You can mix. Oh, I like this, though. You have a South Node superpower. So you could take some of your ancient, some of this esoteric, mystical knowledge, some of the great truths from ancient civilizations, some of the sacred law, and you could weave it in with fictional stuff, even though it's truth. You follow? Because you've got fiction writer, or I shouldn't say that. It's in the house of writing and communication and talking and speaking, but 24 degrees can be fictional. You follow? It can be spiritual too. But there's Pythia, Pythia, and this is known as the high priestess at the temple of Delphi or Delphi, probably Delphi, I don't know. And she's known as the oracle, 2 degrees in Aries, taking charge with values, leading the way with the values, fighting for what you value, fighting for who you value. Hey, let me ask you this question, since you have so much Aries. Do you ever feel like you have that situation where you feel you may have to defend somebody who might be childlike, or people who actually are children, or even individuals who just come across in a childlike way where they need somebody else to fight battles for them? They need someone to stand up for them. I mean, this is kind of unfair because you have a lot of Aries here. I mean, Aries is just like, give me a reason. Just give me a reason. I'll fight for any reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Aries doesn't really need a reason. Well, the North Node in this chart would say it really is a work and a soul's goal on compromise, collaboration, mutual understandings. Like that's, partnership energy. Valuing harmony and fairness and relating. Yeah. The Libra symbol, build bridges, not just blaze trails, right? Because the opposite Aries wants to blaze them damn trails. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I said trailblazer, same damn thing. But yeah, this one definitely is that trailblazer, where this one's goal is now that I've blazed the trails, now I'm here to build the bridges. You see, like the graduation. Now it's time for me to build those bridges so that others can pass as well, kind of energy. And Libra is also fine art too, and creative. And you have it at 24 degrees. And it's in the house of publishing. Hello. And that is also then the 9th house. This is also because you have Pluto there as well. And it's in Aries, which has you have a lot of Aries energy by degrees. So it does talk about taking the lead and initiating and starting something new, but something that's deeply transformational, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you. Let me see. Overall. Oh. You are welcome. Thank you for your time. You are welcome. I wish I knew how to say your name. Hemanta Mahatma. You're welcome. I didn't see that before, so we got you on there. My life is tricky AF. Yes. Super value sensitive. I'm in an anti-monetary way. Yeah. I mean, Aries, at all those degrees, everyone has traumas, but I think I didn't overcome it enough. I think it was my childhood ruined a lot. I think. Okay, so Anne, don't know who that is, told me I'm a writer. Okay, well then start writing. I mean, it doesn't have. Here's the thing. The inclination is there. The abilities are there. It's written in the chart. So just start writing. It doesn't mean that I have to publish what I write, but we'll never know unless you start writing. Like that's the trick. We have to just start. And maybe you already do it. Just freaking journal at the very least. Journal. None of this is surprising, but interesting. I think I was important in past lives. Hey, Lou S., how the heck are you doing? Yeah, we're here. I think we're ending soon. I don't think there's really anybody here. Oh, Sergius is here? A more famous astrologer. Never heard of her. That's okay. I don't, I gotta do me. All right. I really think I effed up, though. My maternal great-grandfather. Oh. Well, then, if that was your maternal great-grandfather, why are you saying you really effed up? That's on him, not you. And I understand the whole transgenerational thing. I get it. But, don't hold his shit to be your shit. I'm just saying. Let that shit go and, yeah. What's the ancient teaching? Leave the dead alone. They're dead. They're gone. Meaning their deeds and what they did, that's their shit. They did it. It's okay to know about it, but just definitely don't carry it with you. Especially if you feel like you're living a life to make those wrongs right. Like, whoa, that's a lot to carry on. I mean, you already have a retrograde Saturn. And it does go way back because it is connected to Isis, but that's the thing, Now, if it's not bothering you, like if it doesn't have any effect on your life and your well-being, your mental health, emotional health, spiritual well-being, well, then don't worry about it. Then don't listen to a damn thing I'm saying. But if any of those things are true, then yeah, you might want to, what you could do especially involving the writing stuff. Take all that knowledge. Take all that, what you know to be your history, your family history, your lineage. Take all that information and do something with it. Like put it on paper and or whatever people do when they write nowadays. People doing this. Do something with it. Create with it. That's the Leo energy. Create with the traumas, right? Do something creative with them. You'll figure it out. Oh, thank you, Lou. I see what you did there. You're trying to help out. Thank you. I think. Yeah. Oh, you're saying hello to people. I didn't know this one. Torrio Mancini. I didn't. Oh, yeah. I got Rahu. I got the other one. Torrio. Didn't even see that person. You're welcome, Steffi. Do you want me to send this chart to you with this extra stuff? And this isn't even all of it. This is just to keep the chart sane to look at, like they recently downloaded even more asteroids, and I was like, whoa, really? There's like over 100 more? Holy shit. Give them to me. Because what I have found is when I do people's charts, those asteroids, those are the interesting bits. They really reveal a lot of private shit about a person. Like, I'll give you an example, even though this isn't extremely private, but it was very revealing in terms of, holy shit, this person's rare and very unique. And yes, I'm talking about Michael Jackson. Since I've been on a Michael Jackson kick, I went and I pulled up his chart and I was looking at his asteroids. But I was taking more of a deep dive into his asteroids just in regards to the degrees and the declinations, like whether his shit was out of bounds. Now, first of all, the asteroids are mostly feminine, okay? Right? They're not important, so they're this, right? They're mostly feminine. And all his shit, the declinations on them, the out of bounds on them are like numbers I have never even seen. I've never seen an out of bounds like in the 40s and the 50s. And I was like, whoa. And it was consistent in his chart. So like his internal world, way bigger than him, if that's even possible. But what it explains is his ability to create. Because when your internal world is that much bigger, right? The realm of which where creativity initiates, right? Where that is actually, what's the saying? I heard somebody say it recently, and I'm like, God damn, that's good. It's actually the caboose on the train. Whereas the physical world, I'm sorry, let's switch that around. It's actually the engine on the train at the front end. Whereas the physical world is just the caboose on the train. Well, his internal world was the engine on the train. And in that chart, his internal realm was like, whoa, off the freaking charts, off the charts. And I was like, holy unique. I mean, it was just wild. And so I thought, surely that means something significant. I mean, in relationship to whose life it was. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just off the chart. Off the chart. Interesting. So anyway, sometimes I take the asteroids and you could draw up charts where it's nothing. You take away all the regular shit and you just show just the asteroids. And it can fill up the chart too. And it's like, holy shit. So to do both, I'm trying to find a medium, underdogs. Okay, good. Yes. A longtime activists and underdogs. Okay. Yeah, underdogs. I guess that's the word I was looking for. But because Aries really shows up many times like a child, and so sometimes that's the one thing about astrology. Sometimes it's extremely literal. And it's like, oh my God, I had no idea it was going to be so literal, always trying to poke and prod for deeper meaning. And it's like, it's just really literal. Okay, so, all right, let me see. I think more, yeah, I got that part. Sergius was here. a smidge above 100. We're about 90. And humid as all get out. Humid. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I totally get that. I feel when people say that kind of stuff, though, I feel like it's almost like it's like somebody in a way saying like your life is cursed or something, like you have no free will, you have no control or whatnot. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that karma's not a real thing. But I don't know. Sometimes just releasing a lot of that knowledge of that shit as part of a process of healing. You follow? And moving on. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Steffi. That was very kind of you to say. He tortured my grandfather. He tortured my mother. And then, oh, God. Oh, Lord. Well, Steffi, it definitely seems like it with the asteroids. It really does. But see, here's the thing with that. Here's how I look at fate, though. Okay. Here's how I look at fate thing. I see fated energy. I don't like this analogy, but I don't know any other analogy. I'm not saying one doesn't exist. Come up with one. Okay. It's like saying, it's like, in a way, this isn't the best, but it's kind of like our genes and what we inherit. You know, like there are these predispositions. And so some say the fated energy or your family's energy, your family's history, it's like a loaded gun. But what you do with it, right? What you actually do, the action you take is the pulling of the trigger point. Like, so you may never pull the trigger. So the gun is loaded, but you don't have to pull the trigger. You follow? Which means there's a choice that's in there somewhere. There's an option that's in there somewhere. Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about the fated energy. Like options and like events occur, but we're always like, we still have the ability to make a choice and to choose something different. Oh, God, I would love to do a reading on his chart. I read it all the time. I'd look at it all the time. I did not know there was a movie coming out, and that's why he was on my radar, I guess. I have no idea. I mean, his music was coming in and everything. It was like I had I don't know, I had like an experience or something. I just don't know how else to put it. And I was like, God damn, why is this man all in my head? I mean, like really, not that I wasn't already an MJ fan, you know what I mean? But just really in my head. And so I started looking online and I'm like, there's a movie? Oh shit. Cause I'm really haven't been like, I've really stopped just, I like for my sanity, I had to stop like all the news, everything. I just had to like go cold turkey. And so I didn't know any of that was happening. And then I was like, okay, let me get his chart. Let me take a look. And then I started deep diving on that. And I'm like, holy shit. He had the north nodes on his sun, on his, yeah, when the movie was, because I was looking at it, I was like, oh, no wonder this resurgence. And I thought, damn, the timing couldn't have been better for him, for his legacy, for whoever's got the rights to all his shit now. I'm like, damn, it makes you wonder, were they using astrology when they did this? Holy shit. Just like couldn't have been a better time. The south node on his Pluto. Okay, I lost a shoe. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. So, yeah, really unique sixth house, the Leo energy. And that's when, yeah, I mean, I had never been to an MJ concert, had his music, listened to his music, grew up listening to his music. but I'd never seen him in concert. Never even watched the video of one of his concerts. So then that got me on that path. And I saw the chart. I'm like, I have to see him perform live, And so I started watching a couple of those and I was like, holy shit, no wonder. Damn. And then all that other crazy shit. And I'm like, this man was such a humanitarian. This man was really, truly wanted to have his own children. Really, truly did. This man loved animals before people started loving animals. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh God. Anyway, I was just like, did you see it? Did anybody see it? Oh, you did. You did. Yes, Steffi, that was my whole damn point. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on other stuff, but yes, that is the main thing. That's the important main thing. Because fate is not destiny. They're two different things. Destiny, you're destined to do it. You're destined to be it, right? Fate is not that. That is not fate. That's, like I said, somebody hands you a loaded gun. Okay, what are you going to do with it? That's right. That's you having the choices and the options. I saw the movie, sat in the back, but danced a lot. Well, that's perfect. God, I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time. I always liked the very back row because it had all that extra space. Yeah. I was one time in a theater. This was a long time ago, like I said. And in the back row, which has like, it looks like you could almost add another row of seats. I mean, this was a long time ago though, so I don't know if things have changed that much, but a family came in. It was just a husband and a wife or whoever. Mom and dad came in, it looked like, and they had an infant with them, an infant. And they took advantage of all the extra space. And they pulled the blanket out and they laid it down on the movie theater floor and put the baby on the blanket on the movie theater floor. And I was like, and this was like a crawling baby. I was like, holy shit, I've never seen that before. I had a lot of other thoughts too. And I thought, well, ain't none of my business. This is their child. And I thought, holy shit. But yeah, that was a first. So did she say, oh yeah, Lou, 90s is hot and it's humid and tomorrow's supposed to be the same, but we've been spoiled. We've had really nice weather. I mean, like California weather, like no humidity. Seriously, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, no humidity. It's been freaking gorgeous. So I saw the movie. Here we go. But did she say if she liked it? That's what I was looking for. She said she danced a lot. Well, if it's music. His nephew played him very well. Yes, the movie's out. Yeah. Yeah, I drew up his death chart as well. Death chart is sad. It's sad. It's sad. I recommend. Woohoo. Awesome. No, fate is not the soul's goals. It's just opportunities. It's just events that come along the way. And some of those might seem familiar, but it does not mean, hey, we're supposed to follow this path, And then the fated thing can be 5 minutes, can be 10 minutes, can be 10 years. There's no space in the back rows anymore. Yeah, who the hell wants to sit in the front like that? Oh, God. Assigned seats now in theaters. All theaters? First time I went to the theater since Rona. What the hell's Rona? No, Lou, that was the problem. It was the theaters, you're walking in and your feet are kind of like sticking to the floor type of thing. That's why when the blanket went down, I was like, Holy shit. Holy shit. So in Billie Jean song filled in blank, blank is not my son. I thought Chad as opposed to child is. Oh, I'm confused. That's okay. All right. So death chart, yeah. What is that? A death chart is the day you die. And since I had that information, the date and a pretty good estimate for his time of death, at least I think it was an estimate. I can't remember how I got the time of the death. I probably had to read up on it or something. And so I drew up a death chart. That's what I call a death chart. Oh, I get what you're saying, Sunshell. Yeah. Yeah, the whole world, I shouldn't say the whole world, but the media definitely got him. There's no doubt about it. He made a few statements talking about, well, he probably made more than a few statements. And they came after him and they just, yeah. Oh, Corona is Rona. Gotcha. Why didn't I know that? I'm so glad that Corona's out of my head. A $3 theater doesn't have assigned seats. They still have $3 theaters. Well, I think it used to be $1 back in the day, but a $3 theater has no assigned seats. Awesome. She put it in 2 different texts, 2 different chats. Some say child, but now says kid. Oh, you know what? You're right, Sunshell. Sometimes you do hear it differently. Well, I went into a deep dive, and now I have so many interviews done with him that I never heard before. Just so many, because when you grow up constantly hearing him on the radio or whatever at the time, and it was like he was everywhere, and so I never, I just didn't follow it that closely. Of course, the music was great for sure, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It was just everywhere. And he was so small, he was just always around, you know? But yeah. Here in the States, I think absolutely with the media that they totally, because I came across interviews and information of shit that he did that I'd never heard of, like ever. And I would, share it with other people and they'd be like, I didn't know that. And it was people who are like even older than I am. And it was like nobody knew this shit. But it was because the media made sure that nobody knew about it. The media made sure that, we only heard about what the media wanted us to hear about. Yeah. So anyway, and so on that note, I want to share this little quick story that there was a lad in California, and this was, I think it was in the 70s. I could be wrong. If it was like in the late 70s, maybe. But this boy who was about, I don't know, 14, early teens, right? Maybe 13, 14, 15, 16, early teens. And his mom and dad had recently got divorced. And the father didn't win custody of the boy. The mother had. So one day, somehow, there was an arranged meeting with the father and the son. And the father and the son went back to the dad's house. And the father, and by the way, this story is told from the person that this happened to. The boy's father proceeded to just took gasoline and just doused him from head to toe in gasoline and then lit a match and lit him on fire. Literally lit his son on fire. So somehow Michael heard about it and he immediately went. He immediately went to the burn hospital, to the burn unit, and paid for all the reconstructive surgery, paid for, and I never heard any of this shit. He paid for all this shit. And this kid, like you could probably Google it. Because I saw pictures and stuff of him, and you could never even tell that anything like that had happened to him. You could never even tell that he'd gone through that experience. But just stuff like that he would do all the time. But yet it's, for whatever reason, we never heard about that kind of shit, and it was like, yeah, interesting. So that was just one of many stories. And obviously the stuff for children's hospitals and cancer and all that. Yeah, we know about all that. But there's just all the other things before the big stuff that I just never even heard of. And the interviews, never heard any good interviews. It was always these, ones that wanted to know about his marriage to Lisa Marie and is it real and blah, 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 and asking him questions that were just really just wrong, Oh, shit. Oh, I guess I forgot to plug my light back in because taffy apple. Well, it's how it always tells me that it's time to end and I'm babbling on too long. But yeah, there's some good interviews out there where he had an interview that was done by Jesse Jackson. He had another one. I don't think it was Rolling Stone. Maybe it was Rolling Stone. Anyway, there's only a handful of really good interviews where they're talking about his artistic process. And he's like, God, nobody really ever asks me that, and anyways, but it's just great because some of the bits of information you can get, you really see more of the human side of him. You really see how, oh my God, he was just a regular person. I mean, obviously, but so much about his life was just what he was able to do and create, his sound, everything. So much about him was like otherworldly, for sure. Otherworldly. Yeah, kids in burn units. Yeah, but this particular story was crazy. It was so sad. The movie touches on that briefly. Well, we are ending. It is that time. I hear the thunder and the lightning out there somewhere. I don't know. We've had torrential rains off and on all day. All right. We are ending it. Thank you, everybody who got a chance to show up, and hope I could help and be of some service. And this Saturday, the Lisa Marie interviews. Yeah, I've heard about the regret that she said she had. Yeah, somebody was talking about the book she wrote and saying that she kind of talks about that. And I could totally see that looking at his chart. She would say, when he would get angry, he wouldn't speak to me. I could totally, that Aries energy, being childlike, for sure. I could totally see that. And being mad and knowing, in a moment of heat, you might say something you regret. So what do? You just keep your mouth shut. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, that's just tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, isn't it? The whole thing. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, they were saying that they were still together after the divorce, I think, because I haven't followed it. I don't really know. But even when his children were born, that was a big part of that their mom, right? I forget her name. But that he, was still kind of in that relationship with Lisa Marie. Anyway, I'm talking about stuff I don't know enough about. Others, stars' lives. But yes, United States media and whoever else, dude definitely needs to be redeemed. All right, guys, we're all set. we are ending. Have a good one. Oh, yeah. Next Saturday. This Saturday coming up is the Astro class. So, anybody's listening, you want to be in on an astrology class, you can jump in. It doesn't matter. Everything's been recorded already. It is a class with me, and we record it as we go through it. So, if you missed past classes and you want to see those, you can do that. Not a problem. And you can jump in pretty much at any time, provided you send an email. Obviously, it's done through email, and it has to be reserved ahead of time. But yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know. And it's always a good time. It's on Saturday nights from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. It is not every Saturday. I just made that sound like it's every Saturday. It's the second Saturday of every month, 7 to 9 Eastern time, p.m. And with that, we're all done. You guys take care, and thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.